Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another meal prep video. In today's video for breakfast prep, I'm going to be doing very simple breakfast bagels. And for lunch prep, I'm going to be doing burrito chicken. This is actually a Hungry Girl Instant Pot recipe, but you definitely don't need an Instant Pot to make this. For dinners this week, I think I'm just going to be throwing one meal kit together just because most of the dinners we're making this week are just not ones that I can really put into a meal kit. And then I just have a few snacks to do. So if you want to see how I meal prep breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for my husband and I, then stay with me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kristi, and I'm Planning Us Healthy.
Don't you know that you're beautiful? No matter what the scars, no matter what they say, and we'll shout it out louder, prouder. Ain't no one gonna hold us down, 'cause you know that we're beautiful, just the way we are, just the way you are, oh, just the way you are.
So thank you all for coming back to another video, and if you're new here, welcome. Like I said, my name is Kristi. I'm currently following the WW Blue program, but on my channel I do provide the points for all three programs, and I also share calories as well. However, you don't need to be on any type of weight loss program to get tips and ideas from my channel. On my channel I do meal preps, meal plans, grocery hauls, what's for dinner videos, and a couple other things. So I would love to have you as part of our family. So if those type of videos interest you, I'd love for you to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. Also make sure to click the notification bell so you're notified anytime I upload new content. So let's get started with meal prep. Breakfast this week, like I said, is going to be breakfast bagels. These are 4 points on blue and purple, 6 points on green if you only use one egg. I planned originally on just using one egg, but I think I'm going to use 2 in each one. So if you're using 2 eggs on green, then these will be 8 points. And then the calories on this with using 2 eggs is going to be about 300 calories. It just depends on what you're using for the ham slices. So just make sure to track everything depending on the brands that you use. So before I put these together, I want to mention that all the recipes you see today will be listed down in the description box below. So make sure to open that description box and scroll down. You'll see all the recipes. And also I'll have direct links to any of the items I use, like my scale, my measuring spoons, anything like that that you see in the video. I try to link down below. If there's something that is not there and you've seen it and you want to know about it, just ask me. It might be that I just forgot to put it in there. So for this one, let me show you what we're going to need. I'm actually going to be putting some strawberries with this as well, just like on the side. So I'm going to get these rinsed off in just a minute. For the bagels, I bought these bagel skinnies at Aldi, I think 2 weeks ago in my great big grocery haul. And we really like these. We've never had the bagel skinnies. So these are really good. They're 3 points on all programs, 110 calories. This kind is the everything. So I wanted to just run to Aldi and get some more, but my husband ended up needing to go to Walmart anyway, so he picked up these bagel thins. So these ones are the same points and calories, 3 points, 110 calories, but these ones are the plain ones. I prefer the everything ones, but these will work for this week. The other things I'm going to be needing for this is I'm going to be making 6. I'm going to make 3 for me, 3 for my husband. And so I'm going to use 12 eggs. There'll be 2 eggs in each one. And then I'm going to be using these Appleton Farms biscuit ham slices. For these ones, you can have 1.5 slices for 0 points. So that's why I said on calories, it's around 300, because for the 1.5 pieces, it's like 0.85 of an ounce. And the other thing I'm going to use is 1 Velveeta slice on each one. So these are 1 point cheese slices. If you use any other cheese, make sure to account for the points. All right, so I'm going to get my strawberries washed. I just use a wash of vinegar water. I put about 1 part vinegar to 4 parts water. And then I just let the fruit soak in there. All right, I'm just gonna let those set while I get the bagels put together. So if you want to toast these ahead of time, you can. I'm not going to. What I'm going to do to reheat these when they're done is I'll just put them in the microwave, wrap them in a paper towel, put them in the microwave for about 30 seconds, flip them over, and then maybe about 15 seconds more. It does not take long at all. But if you are home, the best way to reheat these is in your convection oven. If you have that turbo button on your convection oven that reheats things real quick, that works perfectly. So let me set those aside for now. All right, so I've got my red bowl. I'm just gonna get my eggs cracked and get them cooking on the stove. I'm gonna put 12 eggs in here, And I'm also going to be putting in about 1/4 cup of water. I just like putting water in with my eggs. I used to use milk, but then somebody told me about water, and they're really fluffy with water. So that's what I'm going to use. Alright, I've got my pan heated up and I just sprayed it with some cooking spray, so I'm just going to add my eggs and let them cook. And if you're completely new to cooking, basically when I make my scrambled eggs, this is what I do. I just sit here and I try and whisk them the most of the time, and then as they start heating in the pan, I just keep lifting up my pan and then stirring it, putting the pan back down, keep lifting it and stirring it. Alright, so the eggs are done. So I just sat here the whole time. I thought my camera was on, but it wasn't recording. So I basically just sat here the whole time doing this, so you didn't miss anything. Alright, so now I'm just going to take that off the burner. And I would advise take it off a little bit earlier, because if you're letting it sit in the pan, the pan's still hot, so it's going to keep cooking. So now we're going to assemble the bagels. So just get the bagels out. And like I said, I'm going to be making 6 bagels. So I'll show you how to do one, and then I'll throw the rest together. So these ones have little air bubbles in them. All right, first thing I'm going to do is just spray some I Can't Believe It's Not Butter spray butter on there. And I just have 6 pieces of wax paper. You can just use paper towels. I've wrapped them in paper towels before too. I just don't wrap them straight in aluminum foil because I like to take them from whatever they're in and put it directly into the microwave. The next thing I do is put some mustard on there. We love mustard on our egg sandwiches. It just gives it a nice zip. Then I'm going to take 1½ ham slices and put that on there. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of, since the ham slice doesn't really fit on there good, I'll just kind of do that. Then I'm going to take my cheese. I try to put the cheese in the middle just so it doesn't come through the hole of the bagel. And I fold the edges over just a little bit. So actually, you know what? For these, you don't really need to fold them. I fold them over for my breakfast muffins because the muffins are smaller, but these, it's not really going to hang over too much on these. Maybe a little bit. And finally, the eggs. So I've just kind of taken the eggs and put it into 6 portions. If I was on green, what I would do is I would take the eggs, I would take a bowl, put it on a scale, and I would weigh the entire amount of eggs, and then I would divide that by 6 to know exactly how much to put on each one. But since I'm on blue, my eggs are 0, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it into the 6 portions. And if you're in a quick hurry and you just want to whip these together in the morning, you can always microwave your eggs too. It's not, they don't come out as good, but they're still good. We do that a lot of times on the weekends. And that is going to be our breakfast sandwich. And like I said, I'm going to put some strawberries on the side. So just wrap it up. Actually, let me do it this way, so that the edges are on the bottom of it. And then that way I can just put it in the microwave like that. Super easy. So now I'll just put it in my meal prep container, and then I'll put the strawberries over on this side. So let me throw the rest of these together. All right, strawberries have been sitting, so now I'm going to just rinse the strawberries and put them in the containers with the breakfast bagels. Okay, so breakfast is done, and again, these are going to be 4 points on blue and purple and 8 points on green the way that I made them. If you only use 1 egg, then it would just be 6 points. And like I said, right around 300 calories depending on what you use for the meat. And then of course, strawberries are 0 on WW. So if you're counting calories, make sure to weigh and account for those. So now we're gonna move on to the lunches. For lunch this week, like I said, I'm gonna be doing Instant Pot Burrito Chicken. This is a Hungry Girl recipe. For this recipe, it is 0 points on blue and purple, 4 points on green, and about 216 calories if you're counting calories. For this recipe, it calls for 1 1/4 cups of chicken breast, but I actually have my chicken breast already. I take my chicken, when I buy my chicken, I portion it out. So I have 2 packages of 12 ounces of cubed chicken breast. So I'm going to be using that full amount. So I'm going to be using 24 ounces, which is 1.5 pounds. For me on blue, that's not going to make a difference. Or if you're on purple, but if you're on green or counting calories, then the points and calories are based on the 1 1/4 pounds. So the other things that we're going to need for this are 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, a red onion. We need about 1 cup of red onion. I may put just a little bit more in there. In here, I have 3/4 cup of salsa. We also need 1 can of black beans that I'm gonna drain and rinse. And then about 1 cup of frozen corn. And then the other thing that it calls for is cilantro, which I'm not going to put cilantro in it because my husband is not a fan of cilantro. So if I decide I want to get cilantro, I can always add it at the end, which actually I don't even think I have any cilantro, so I won't be using that. And then the other things are basically your toppings like sour cream, cheese. So the points are based on the way the chicken is made. So if you put any toppings, then those will be additional points. I haven't quite decided exactly how I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to put an Olay Extreme Wellness wrap with it, and that way I can just kind of put it together in a wrap the day that I eat it. So this is an Instant Pot recipe, but you could honestly do this in the crock pot. So if you want to cook this in a slow cooker, it would be probably about, I would say 6 hours on low. And of course you could always do it on the stovetop or in the oven as well. So this is so easy. The only thing I'm going to do is rinse my beans, cut my onion up, and throw everything into my Instant Pot insert. So now we're just going to put the chicken into the Instant Pot. And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Then we're going to add in the onion, so about 1 cup of onion. Then we're going to add in the salsa. And 1/4 cup of water. And then I'm just going to kind of mix that up a little bit. And according to this, this makes 6 servings. Ooh, that smells really good. All right, that's all that's going in there. The beans and the corn will get added after. So now we're just gonna put the insert in there, get the top on. And I don't have to set my steam valve or whatever because it automatically does it on this one. Then we are just going to hit pressure cook on high for 6 minutes. Hit start. So now this is going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to come up to pressure before it starts counting down. It'll cook for 6 minutes after it comes to pressure. And then after that, I'm going to make sure that I have it on keep warm. If you have a keep warm button, just make sure that at the end it's on warm. So when this is done with the 6 minutes, it's going to kick it to warm. I'm going to let it sit there and naturally release on warm for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to let the steam out. Okay, so while the chicken is cooking, it actually just came up to pressure. It's on the 6 minute countdown. So I'm gonna go ahead and weigh out some sour cream. That way it's already weighed and portioned out. So I'm just gonna put them in these little containers. I get these at the Dollar Tree. They come 10 for $1. So for the light sour cream, the Daisy kind, is 35 calories for 2 tablespoons or 2 points. It's 2 points for 2 tablespoons, 1 point for 1 tablespoon. For the 2 tablespoons is 30 grams, so 1 tablespoon would be 15 grams. But you can actually, if you put it in your app and you change it to grams, you can actually have 24 grams for the 1 point. So that's what I'm gonna put in each container. Okay, so those are already portioned out. And then the other thing I'll probably do is put a little bit of cheese on the top of them too. So this is 1 point worth of sour cream. And then I think what I'm gonna do is in each container, I'm just gonna roll one of these up. I'm not gonna put the burrito on it yet because it'll make it soggy. These are 1 point per wrap or 50 calories. So what I've done is I've taken one of the wraps and just kind of rolled it up and put it in here. So I'm just gonna use this meal prep container. I'll put the chicken on this side, got my sour cream in this side, and I'm gonna use these Velveeta shreds. And rather than waste a little plastic bag, I'm just gonna put them right in this portion. I was gonna put them on top of the chicken when it's done, but I think I'll just leave it separate. So for these ones, these are 1/4 cup, which is 28 grams for 2 points or 60 calories. So 1/8 cup or 14 grams would be 30 calories. But again, this is one of those ones, if you're on WW, you can actually have 21 grams for the 1 point. So that's what I'm gonna do. So it has been counting down for 5 minutes. So now I'm just gonna pull it away from my counter and I'm just gonna release the rest of the pressure. All right, so now we're gonna lift the top. Take a look at it. And then we're gonna pull that out of there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use this 13 by 9 pan to mix everything. It says to put it in a bowl and then shred the chicken apart, but my chicken is, I don't think I'm gonna shred mine because of the fact that mine is cubed. So I'm just gonna pour it in here and mix everything together. Actually, I think I am just gonna try and break it up a little bit more. If I had big chicken breasts, I would actually put this in a deep bowl and then just use my electric mixer. But since I already had this cube, this is working. I can't even tell you how good this smells. And the reason I'm using this 13 by 9 is it's gonna be a lot easier for me to split it into 6. So like I said with the breakfast, with the eggs, normally with something like this, I would put it in a bowl, weigh it all out, and portion it exact. Since this is really all 0-point foods for me, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put it in here, and then I can easily just eyeball it into 6 portions. So now I'm just gonna add my corn and beans and mix it up real good. So if you're using cilantro, this is when you would want to add that. And then you could also put that on top when you serve it too. Also, I think I'm probably going to add some more salsa when I eat it. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of eyeball it. Just kind of put it into, there's still a lot of juice in there and I don't want to lose that juice. So just do the best we can, and I want to try to get some of that juice too so that it doesn't dry out. I think what I can do is just pour the juice over the top of it after. And there we go. That's a pretty decent portion. That's going to be a lot on that burrito. I was worried that this was not, when I first came across this recipe, I was worried it wasn't going to be enough, but that's really going to be a lot. Keep in mind, I do have 1/4 pound, I think it was 1/4 pound extra of the chicken too. So I'll just go through and portion the rest of these into the trays. And then I'm just gonna kind of put just a little bit of juice on each one. So that is it for the lunches. Those are done. Like I said, I think I'm probably gonna do some salsa, so I may just put some salsa in one container and then I'll take it to work with me and then I'll just leave it in my fridge and I'll have it each day. All right, so now we're moving on to dinners, and this week I am just doing one dinner kit. So if you're new to my channel, for my dinner kits, I'm basically putting everything into a bag. These are reusable bags. I will link them down below. So this one is garlic parmesan salmon. You will notice a theme on my meal preps. We pretty much have salmon every Monday night. It's very rare that we don't. That's just the night that we have it. So, and it's one of the ones that's so easy to just put the kit together. So that's why I always kind of use this one as an example. So I'm just providing this as an example of how you can do your own dinner kits. You definitely don't need to follow exactly what I'm doing, but this just kind of shows you how you can put everything together. So this is garlic parmesan salmon with rice and broccoli with cheese, 6 points on blue, 6 points on purple, 14 points on green, and 360 calories plus the vegetables. The green, 14 points on green, if you use wild-caught salmon, then I believe that lowers it a little bit more for you. Mine is actually sustainably farmed, so my understanding is on green that is the higher one. Also, the points on here are for everything in the kit. So for blue, it's including the rice. The rice that I use is this 90-second ready rice. This is 3 points for 1/3 of the pouch. So that's where I'm getting the 3 points for that. So for the salmon on blue and purple is 2 points, on green it's 10. The rice is 3 points on all, and then the broccoli with 1 point worth of cheese. So if you're on purple and you want to use brown rice, then your entire dinner would only be 3 points. And then if you did without the cheese, the entire dinner would just be 2. For the calories, again, it's plus the vegetables. So the calories include the rice and the entire salmon, but whatever vegetables and cheese you use, then of course those will be extra. So very easy for this. All I do is put all the ingredients into little containers. These are actually containers that I got from back when I used to do the meal delivery kits. So I can't provide you a link for these. But I just put the topping for the salmon in there. So this is just a mixture of 1/8 of a cup each of panko breadcrumbs, regular Italian breadcrumbs, and Parmesan cheese. So I just put that in there. And then I have in here a tablespoon of butter and 1 garlic clove. And also these get mixed together. So normally I wouldn't put a garlic clove near anything when I'm putting it in the bag, but these get mixed together, so that's fine. And then I weighed out our cheese, so that will be the cheese for the broccoli. So all I do is I took my 2 heads of broccoli and I just cut it up, put it in the bottom. I'm not washing it right now. I'll wash it the day I have it. And then I have my salmon already weighed out. This is 1 pound of salmon. Normally when I make my dinner kits, I only do enough for 2, just my husband and I. That way we don't have any leftovers and everything's already portioned out so we can't overeat. But on salmon night, I do enough for 3. So this is 1 pound that I have cut into 3 portions because our dogs have salmon the night that we have salmon. So just put the salmon in there and then all the rest of the ingredients go in there. And that way it's just ready to go. So easy the night that I get home from work. Just grab the kit out, everything's weighed out. I know how many points I'm gonna be having. So technically I can pre-track my dinner. I know how many points I'm gonna have for dinner. And then that just goes in my fridge. I put the whole kit in my fridge. I don't keep these in my fridge longer than usually 3 nights. That's why usually when I meal prep, I'm only meal prepping for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Later in the week, we always have something different for breakfast and lunch, and also dinners are a little bit different. This week, this is the only meal kit I have because the other ones that I'm doing a whole turkey breast one night, and I'm just gonna throw that in the crock pot with some potatoes and carrots. So there's really nothing to prep with that. And one night I'm doing instant pot sausage and rice. Again, another one, there's really nothing to put into kits. So now the only thing I have left to do is cut up my cantaloupe. All right, then those will each go in the fridge. One will be mine, one will be my husband's. We can take those to work. And then the other things I'm having this week are my pudding. I'm gonna do my pudding, Cool Whip, and PB2 concoction that I love. Just mix that all up. If you are not familiar with that, I will link the video down below. So easy to do. I also have 2 kiwi left from last week that are still good. And then that's it for snacks. I'm not going to do any chips or crackers or anything this week. So I hope this video gave you some great ideas to help you stay on track this week. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And thank you all so much for watching. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe. I'll talk to you in my next video. I'm Kristi and I'm Planning Us Healthy. And then the other things I'm having, and then pound in here, and I have it already cut into 3. And guess who's walking in? I swear, you'd think that he does it on purpose. They're gonna get tired of it. Why are you buttering up?
I don't know.
For the camera. Huh?
I don't have to butter it up.
You don't have to?
Well, I'm always good.
The camera's off. You can be mean.